Welcome back to None of Your Beeswax Apiary. It's Sunday, March 1st here in East Tennessee, and today we're going to go through some more of our hives. We started yesterday. We're going to go through and see what they've got for stores, see if the boxes need reversed, and see how the queen's doing, how they're building up on brood, and then put our Formic Pro Mite treatment in. We went through about 10 hives yesterday. They're all doing good. Quite a few of them had about 5 to 6 frames of brood already in there. Haven't seen any drone brood yet, so we're still a little ways away from having drone brood and them wanting to swarm on us, so that's a good thing. But they are building up nicely, and we're going to get them built up nice and strong for the honey flow. A lot of the hives, what we had to do yesterday is take the bottom box and put it up top because they've used all the stores and all the brood had hatched out in the bottom box and all the bees moved up to the top. So what we did is we just swapped boxes. That way the queen has room to move up and lay on those empty frames up top right there. We're leaving sugar boards on most of our hives that are light, just because we're going to be going away here for about a week, and to put sugar syrup on, we wouldn't be here to replenish it and stuff like that. Our temps for the next 10 days are going to be in the upper 60s, low 70s, so this would be a good time to feed sugar syrup. But since we're not going to be here, we're just going to leave the candy boards on the lighter hives. On the hives that have a lot of weight to them and still have their own honey, we're going to take the candy boards off to encourage them to use up that honey and make more room for a brood nest, for that brood nest to expand there. So we've pulled a couple candy boards off a couple of the hives, and we'll just let them consume what they have stored. They'll be fine for the next 2 weeks. And then we'll just leave the insurance on for the other ones on the other candy boards. So we'll go ahead and let it warm up here a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So as we show you from time to time here, things don't always go as they're expected. We do have things go wrong, such as our table collapsing on us yesterday. I was inspecting a hive, had the top brood box on the table there on top of the lid as I was going through the bottom box, and the table decided to give up the ghost and fall over with the brood box on it. Turned it upside down, knocked some bees off, made a lot of bees mad. Queen happened to be in that box. I found her later after putting the box back on and going through it to make sure everybody was okay. So she is okay, but yeah, sometimes things happen you don't expect, and they happen at the wrong time. So I think I'm going to listen to the beekeeper's wife and get one of those sturdy aluminum tables instead of using the homemade wooden one that we had. That served well. It was cheap to make. We used it with pallet wood when we first started, so it didn't cost us anything, but I think it's time to upgrade a little bit. Okay, so we're going to get started with this hive right here. It's still a little cool out, mid 50s right now, so we're not going to spend a lot of time with brood frames out or anything like that, but we're going to get into it, look and see what they've got, and see if we need to reverse boxes. I'm really looking to see how much brood's in there, seeing how much, if any, drone brood we have. Of the hives we inspected here at home yesterday, I didn't see any drone brood. We do have a couple hives down in Oliver Springs that had drone brood in. They're a little bit lower elevation, so I'd expect that. But up here in Wartburg, we don't have any drone brood in ours yet. Another fun fact, not only is it bee season, it's tick season in Tennessee. Yesterday we were out working the bees, and Rachel pulled 2 ticks off of me when we got home, and I pulled one off of her. So kind of crazy that February 28th you're pulling ticks off yourself already, but if you're following us and you're in Tennessee or a southern state, be on the lookout for ticks. Some other further southern states, I'm sure you guys have that problem way earlier than we do, but this is a little early for us. So as you can see right here, the candy board, they've started eating the candy board away. That's a good sign. They're not building comb up in here, which is good because some of the other hives had a lot of comb up in here. One thing I always check after I smoke them, I always kind of give a quick peek to see if the queen's up here. I try to knock some bees off first just to make sure, and then I give a quick peek just to make sure she's not up here and I don't set it away with her on it. So I'm going to look down underneath, see if I see her real quick. I don't expect her to be up here on this one for sure. On others that have comb up build up in here, I have seen eggs laid up here in here, or one yesterday had drone brood laid up in here, so you got to be careful if you're using these boards to make sure that your queen isn't in there. I'm going to set this here by the entrance, that way any bees that are left on there will go back into the entrance while we do our inspection here. First thing I'm going to do is do a lift. It's not really heavy, so they definitely need to keep some feed on them. And then next thing is I want to see what's in this bottom box. I want to see if I need to flip boxes. So I'm just going to take this top box right off. set it off to the side, put our inner cover back on that box, kind of to keep some of that heat in since it's still a little cool. And then we're going to lift this box. That box is really light. That tells me there's nothing down in this box. There's only a small cluster of bees right there. There's probably no brood right there. I'm going to pull a frame out of the center. If this frame's empty like I expect it to be, we're just going to go ahead and swap boxes. Normally I don't break in the frames from the center, but there's no bees on here, so there's no risk of killing your queen when you do this. So yeah, you can see that's an empty frame. All the brood that was there is hatched out. All the resources that were on it they've used. So we want to put this on top so that your queen has room to come up and lay. It'll lessen that impulse for her to swarm, because she'll have a whole box on top that she can lay in. We're going to pop this off, set it aside. If there's a lot of junk on here, which there's not much, it's a good time to clean that bottom board, but we're good there. We're going to take our top box and put it back in its place. There's a little bit of weight to there, so there's still some honey up there. That's good. That's what we want to feel. We don't want them to be really light, dangerously low on stores. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this top box, put it off to the side, and put our inner cover on that top box right there. While we just peek through here, want to see what kind of resources they've got, how many frames of brood they may have in here. We're not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to go from this side because the cluster seems to be over here. So we're going to go from here, pull this frame out. Let's see what we've got. Nothing on that frame, empty frame. As always, I'm watching for the queen. I've got a thumbtack in the back of this one, so that tells me she was marked, so she should be marked in here. This is a good frame of pollen. You can see all the pollen in the center of this frame right in here, all the bee bread and stuff. See some pollen baskets that are full on the bees as they're bringing it back in, so I would expect the next frame will probably have brood on it, because they like to keep the pollen and bee bread next to the brood. It's easier for them to feed. Hi, beetle. Smash. Gently break this one loose. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so that's another frame that's got a lot of pollen and bee bread on it. So they've got all good resources there to raise bees. I didn't see any brood or larvae on that one. Let's go one more. Okay, there we go. We've got a good frame of brood, nice laying pattern, nice and tight right there. There's larvae on the outside that she's laying. It's kind of chilly, so I'm not going to keep that out very long. The next one looks like it has brood on it as well. So we're doing good. Still don't see any drone brood in this one. So that means we've got a little bit of time before they start wanting to swarm on us, which is a good thing. We'll keep an eye on that. But we're going to take them, tuck them back together. I'm going to give them another small piece of pollen patty, even though they've got a lot of pollen in there. That pollen patty is just extra insurance if it's a rainy day, we get a cold snap, that they still have what they need. I'm not going to put a lot in there, but just a little bit. And then because we will be gone for a little over a week, I'm going to put that sugar board back on and leave it on top just so they have some extra resources. If we were home, I would leave it off and feed them sugar syrup, but right now I'm just going to put that back on and leave that for them. So let's go ahead and smoke them down. They've got enough open space up here that I'm not worried about them eating stores. To make room to lay, because she's got enough open frames up top that she can lay in. So right here's our pollen mixture that we made up. Put a good handful size on here, about like that. Right here on the top. We're going to put our inner cover back on, or our, well, guess what? I want to also do a Formic Pro treatment. I forgot to put that on there, so we're going to do that next. I'm going to pop this back off. We're going to put that Formic Pro treatment right between the two boxes. Started talking, forgot what I was doing. So right here we have our Formic Pro. Comes in these little satchels that are hard to open when you've got pollen patty on your fingers. But we're going to go ahead and open that up. And then I'm also going to use my little trick of reusing the foil and putting that on top of the pads to help slow the release of the product, because it's going to be a little warm today and later in the week. It's supposed to get close to 70 today, but it's going to be in the 70s later in the week. Tomorrow's supposed to be only a high of 58, so we'll be good. But what we're going to do, we're going to take the patties here and separate them. Lay one across the bars like that. Lay the other across the bars like that. And then take our foil pack. Just place that on the top right there. That helps slow the release a little bit of it, especially on the hot days. So you don't get such a flash of Formic Pro in there for those first couple of days. And will help kind of keep from having queen issues and brood issues. Okay, now we've got that. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on. Square everything up. And then we're going to add our sugar board back on top of our pollen patty. And we'll go get a couple more sugar cakes and put them in, and then close this up. Okay, so as I was walking away to go get the sugar bricks to put back on here, I had a thought. I just pulled a full sugar board off of one of our Overwintered Nucs. So rather than using this and just replacing those sugar cubes, we're going to set that aside, let those bees go back into the hive, and we're going to put this semi-full sugar board back on top and let them have that. That way we're reusing that sugar, we don't have to add sugar cakes. And it leaves, really the reason I'm doing it is it leaves less room up here if that queen wants to come up and they want to start building comb up here. It leaves less room for them to build comb up here because there's sugar on the bottom of this board. Whereas that one had openings they can get up in and build comb and stuff like that and make a mess over the next 2 weeks. So this is the real reason I'm adding this one, because it's a full board. We're not just putting cakes in. So, okay, they've got enough food. They've got their pollen patty. They've got their mite treatment in there. We'll go ahead and button them back up and they will be good to go. Okay, so that's it for that one. A couple things I want to add and mention here too is if when I'm going through these hives I see the queen, I'm going to take a couple of mite counts on a couple different hives. I did 2 yesterday, one of our hives down in Harriman and one up here. The one down in Harriman had 1 mite per 300 bees. One up here I didn't get any mites out of, so Those are very good signs. Low mite levels coming out of winter. When they start building up like this, that's what you want to see for good healthy bees for the summer. So if we spot a queen here in a couple hives, I'll do a couple more today, but I'm not specifically looking to do that. I've done a couple. I'll do some small samples, and that's about it. One other thing I wanted to mention, I said I took that candy board off of one of our overwintered nucs. This is a single story overwintered nuc we've got right here. And I noticed at the beginning of the video I wasn't feeding sugar syrup because we're getting ready to leave, but as with everything else, rules were meant to be broken, and bees do what they do, and they don't follow scripts. So the reason I'm going to feed this one a little bit of sugar syrup before we go is they're doing good. They've got brood down here. They've got a lot of honey down here. Not a lot, but enough that they would survive without the candy board even. But she's not raising as much brood as I'd like to see her raising. So I'm going to try to stimulate that a little bit. I gave them a pollen patty. I'm going to give them a little bit of 1-to-1 sugar syrup and try to stimulate her to lay a little bit more, because I want them to build up pretty fast here in the next month, because this is one of our overwintered nucs. I want to make sure it's a good nuc to sell to somebody. So the laying pattern on her looked really good. She just doesn't have a lot of bees in there with her, and she wasn't laying a lot, so hopefully we'll stimulate that and we'll see how she turns out. We'll do another evaluation here in mid-March. If she's not good enough, we won't sell her or we'll replace her, but if she perks up and is doing good, just need that little bit of extra stimulation, which is what I'm thinking, then we'll go ahead and we'll get her ready to sell. Looking right now, we should have about 8 overwintered nucs to sell. We've already got a list of people to go down through. We're currently doing a wait list for our nucs, but we still may have a couple available. We'll see how the grafting and splits and stuff like that goes. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave any questions or comments down below, and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you.